Hi, I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. I'm quite new to making videos, but this is my review of a movie called The Shallows. So the movie follows this woman who is going to this pretty secluded beach to surf. Little does she know that there's a shark swimming around the shallows. And soon enough she gets herself stuck on this small rock while the shark is surrounding her and basically hunting her. I always love these kinds of small horror movies that's set in one location where the characters are stuck somewhere. What makes this movie a bit different from lots of other kinds of shark horror movies though is the setting. The beach that she's at isn't completely secluded and it's not set in open water. There are people around, but they're just out of reach and they cannot help. And the premise had me straight away because I like these movies that are set in one location where the characters are stuck in some sort of place. And it's basically like a slow burn kind of movie where it's kind of cat and mouse between her and the shark and they're kind of rivals. The director of this movie is known for kind of intense thrillers, and this one definitely suits that, but it does delve a bit more into the horror genre as well. The first thing that you'll notice about this movie, and probably the best part, is how beautifully it's shot. The movie was also very colourful and vibrant, and it looked very modern, and this kind of contrasted with the horror elements. The environment looks like a paradise, but this is where the protagonist might die. Relevant to the visuals are the CGI effects of the massive shark in this movie. Now this movie has an obviously lower budget, but it manages to hold up. It looks fairly good. Something that I love about this movie is that the main character is not an idiot. She's pretty competent and smart. She gets herself out of situations and is not completely useless, and she's pretty likable. Blake Lively does a pretty good job as she has nobody to really bounce off. She's mostly by herself. However, we learn who she is and we like her and we root for her. We hope she gets out of the situation. We hope she survives. I did have a bit of a problem with the character though, because there was a bit of a lame kind of backstory to her. It was a bit cliche, but that was okay because it was pretty brief. It wasn't really in your face. But one thing that I can say about her backstory is that I found it a bit shallow. But the movie did make you care about the character. There were a few moments where she'd had some objective and she'd have to jump in the water. The shark would come out of nowhere and you'd kind of get the feeling like, oh shit, get out of the water. You kind of go along this story with her. Something that I appreciated about the movie was kind of the gritty take on things regarding pain and injuries. As far as I know, I don't actually have any, medical training, but it seemed to take itself kind of realistically. The movie isn't a masterpiece, but it's very engaging and it's fun. It's very intense and I liked it a lot. The movie is very, very stylish, but one problem that people may have with it is there are many shots of surfing or the shark or whatever, and there is just an abundant use of slow motion. Some of the problems that I read in other reviews about this movie are things like the shark didn't act completely realistically. I'd argue that that doesn't really matter that much because this is a movie and we should take it for what it is. There's plenty of slow moments where not that much action is taking place. However, this is more of a character-driven story. We're going along with the protagonist. That's more important than, a lot of gore and a lot of shark action. This movie is not a masterpiece, but it's very enjoyable, and I really liked it. Something I forgot to do in my last review was give it a rating. I would give The Shallows an 8.5 out of 10.